Good morning. How are you? This is a channel about cross stitch, and my name is Lisa Smith. My channel name is Kindred Stitcher. Today is May 2nd, I think. Yesterday was May Day, and there was all kinds of posts on social media. And my husband and I were chatting, and he said, "Oh, we used to do that maypole thing when I was a kid." And I'm like, "I did not live where we did that, so I've only seen it in stories or where people talk about having done it." So it's kind of funny that we grew up in the same state, but had different experiences. Wow. So what has happened since the last time we visited? Well, we had Easter. My kids came. I went and got my mother-in-law. We had my mom over here, and we had Easter at our house. We went to the 8 o'clock service. It was jam-packed. My mom, my mother-in-law, and I went, and it was so amazing. And there was a song that got stuck in my head at the end of the service that I had to go find on YouTube. And then it was called Glorious Day. It was amazing. I ran out of that grave. I mean, you're just like, very inspiring. What else? Well, we have friends come and visit. So we own property up by the Canadian border in the mountains in Washington. And some of our neighbors, we're kind of up a draw up against a mountain. Our property is on the north side, and it's timbered on the north side. On the south side, it's like maybe some pine trees and mostly grassy hillsides. So it's very interesting. The ecology is different up there. Our friends, Kate and Dave, are retired, and they live up in Washington in the Seattle area, and they own this property. They're building a log cabin, and it's incredible, incredible. So they were taking this long trip. This is the second time they've done it, where they go down to Texas and they have their RV, and they're gone for a couple of months. And they stopped and spent a few days with us. So it was great to see them. We went to another friend's retirement get together at a local pub, and they had a great time. So it just seems like there's a lot of that kind of stuff going on. What else? So then I went to a retreat put on by Acorns and Threads at the beach in Cannon Beach. I did not stay there. It's at a surf sand resort. It was a beautiful building, and there were hotel rooms there. But my husband grew up about 20 minutes south of there, and the first 10 years of our marriage, we lived there. So I met my husband in college. We lived up in Portland for a couple of years, and then we moved to the coast for 10 years. So I stayed at night with a good friend of mine down there. And then one night we had dinner and went out with a couple of other friends. It was just a great time to catch up. The retreat, I took just a couple pictures. I might throw them in at the end. I didn't really, I was really very much in the moment this trip. I didn't really spend a lot of time recording. I just spent a lot of time hanging out with people. I did start 7 projects. I have been good this year. I had one project that I started and finished early in the year, and then I started Mary and Cop, and I've been working on that, and I hadn't started anything else this year. So, in fact, I didn't start a lot last year either. So I'm now up to like 35 whips again, and they're medium. I call them medium size whips, except for one that's an XL, but it's going pretty quickly. I'll show you those. Also, here's a whip that's a finish. I showed this to you in my last video. It was a glass mosaic class that I took. I've done the plastering that you put on here, which really holds the piece together. It's hard to see probably on your end because it's blowing out a little bit, but it is so pretty. And it's so detailed. It was a lot of fun to take that class. And I hope to do more classes, especially one day when I retire. Who knows when that'll be. And I have a few whips to show you, a little bit of haul, and what's going to happen in the next month or so. So in the last, I guess I better bring my new starts over here. Hold on. Magic of television. So I did work on Fragments Through Time. This is by Summer House Stitch Works. This is 2023. And I'm working on this block. So I think probably did this border somewhere in here, but I started on this little block. This is an 8-part series, and I bought these, I think, through Acorns and Threads. It's so much fun to stitch this, and I'm really kind of taking my time. I also changed the inside border. It was originally stitched in this blue and the brighter green, and I just toned it down, and I used the light green, which is Loden by Weeks Dye Works, and the light pink, which is Rose Petal by Classic Colorworks. Pretty sure that's what that is. Let me just make sure. Yep, Rose Petal by Classic Colorworks. Super pretty color. And then the Loden is kind of a gray-green. Now, I spent a little time on that. I didn't go gangbusters, but I just wanted to kind of keep pecking away at that. And the other one that I worked on, I have limited space, and it's a little bit blowing out because I got this window here, but you don't want to see all the rest of the shop room here. It's pretty, I don't know, temporary living quarters. All right, I worked more on this Marjorie Massey Quaker Street. I love, love, love this one. Having a great time stitching it. Is she big? It's a lot of stitching. So I worked my way across here to the end of the alphabet that says 2020. I'll put 2025 on this end. And I did basically all of this and a little bit of this. So I put this little butterfly in there. It was so cute. But I just kind of kept going in this section, and I'll keep working on this. I expect that this one will get done sometime this year. I think those might have been the only whips that I worked on. It's been extremely busy with work. So I worked some, getting ready to go on vacation. I worked some long days. I think one day I started at 7 and 7:30 and ended at 10:30. Then I worked 4 hours on my day off, on my days off. But it is what it is, and someday I will retire. Let's see. So let's talk about the new things that I started, because why wouldn't I, right? When I went to Acorns and Threads on the way up, I did pick up a couple things. I picked up some Seraphim Dusty Road, and it's a 46 count. Would be great for samplers. It sort of reminds me of a Lakeside because it has that kind of mottled look that's not too mottled. It's like they call it vintage, when they vintagize the colors for Lakeside, and that's beautiful. Dusty Road. And then I also picked up the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher. I bought it for this pattern here. I saw it on her Instagram page. This is Crochet A Go-Go. And I follow her on Instagram. When I saw that, my eyes popped out of my head. And I'm like, where is this pattern? So I saw that it was in here, and my friend Lori Textiles bought this for the same reason. She showed in our last video. I'm like, that's on my to pick up list at Acorns. There's other things in here that are adorable too. I'm not going to reveal it because you can go buy it. How about that? Also at the retreat, there was, I got this free pattern. Well, included in the retreat. This was a gift from Janine to us by the Blue Flower. It's Seasons of the Heart Shore S'mores. Look at this. So one night they did s'mores. The first night I didn't go down to the beach and do them. But this is all animals who are, this is too glossy. Let me take it out of the pattern. I'll take the pattern out of the bag for you. All animals that are cooking s'mores. Look at the elk. He's got marshmallows on his antlers. It's so cute. That Janine, she really captures the vibe of the Pacific Northwest, doesn't she? She's all about the animals, and she does a great job with that. It came with this fabric, which is called, it's Extra Jew Design Marbled Khaki, and somebody gave it a perfect description. It looks like chocolate chip mint ice cream. It's beautiful. So that's what this is stitched on. and that should be fun to make. Also at the retreat, there were a few giveaways. People are the kindest. This is from Margaret, a little counting pin. And I think this is from Jennifer, another pin. And this is from, I don't know who this is from, but look at that little thread key. Isn't that cute? I think, oh, and here's another one. A little needle threader with a shell at the bottom. So cute. My friend Julie gave some people this patch. She does that. And she made this cute little egg cup pin cushion, which is so sweet. Is that it? Oh, my friend Karen at our table made these label tags. I love these. She got them off of Amazon, and she uses them on her thread rings so she can just easily identify her project, which I thought was clever. Also from Karen, some magnets. Linda and I picked the same colors, I think. She had yellow and orange and red and purple, kind of Halloween looking colors, but those are always handy. My friend Marion, who I haven't seen for a long time, she gave little thread beds out. Peach stitch. Oh, here's the finishing pack for the blue flower gift to us. And the threads that went with it. So I'm a little disorganized this morning, but hey, you know, I'm here. Who is this from? Oh, Debbie. That sweet Debbie sat right next to me. And she gave us a little package with this. What is that little guy? It's a little seal, I guess. And another needle threader with a charm on the end of it, with a little whale tail. I really enjoyed the table I sat with. It was Debbie and Angie and Diane and Karen and Linda and Zena. And we had a great time chatting away. Oh, thread from 1, 2, 3 stitch. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the starts here. And it kind of goes into plans too. So let me pause for a second. Sorry, this setup's not the best, but it is what it is. So I started, this is not necessarily in order. Where is my, here it is. This is the last one that I started. Anne McFarlane. This is by the Wishing Thorn. I have loved this since it came out and have vowed to start it. And so I have. My vision is to have a darker fabric with it. So I chose 40 count Regency by Number 12 Stitch Company. And that's a pretty good representation. It's so much fun to stitch. I'm in this corner here, and I've done this just in a few days. So there's so much negative space on this pattern, even though when I put it in my WIP spreadsheet, it is an XXL pattern. That's the size that I've deemed it based on area of the pattern. It just goes really quickly. I mean, it's letters and some outlined buildings, essentially. You have a couple roofs that are filled in, but not much. And this is a fun stitch. It's not a cross stitch. It's like a V stitch. There's 4-sided stitch in here. There's eyelets. There might be some satin stitching in here somewhere too. So that is one of my starts. And I was thrilled to use the Number 12 Stitch Company fabric. It's delicious fabric. Very, very nice. The next one on my list of starts is, and I should have waited for Stitch Mania, but I didn't. So I wanted to start them when I was at the retreat. Kindness Makes Friends by Teresa at Kitten Stitcher. Oops, I don't want to show you the pattern, but I want to show you the threads. This is my huge start. This is on 40 count aged flax by Number 12 Stitch Company, and it's a very sweet, soft linen. I have another, I got a fat half, so I have another start that I'm going to do on the other side of this linen. Also on the other, oh no, this is a kit. I have so many kits. So that's kind of what prompted this, is I was moving stuff around and I thought, I have so many kits. I need to start some of these. Why am I not stitching them? And they're not big. Anne McFarlane is an XXL, but the rest of them are mediums. They're not that big. You know, they're like less than 200 on each side, or maybe they're a little over 200 on one side and less than 200 on the other. Okay, the next one is Anne Aldred, and this is by Needlework Press. This is a country sampler, I think, pattern kit. The lovely threads in this kit, and I love the detail in the swan. You can stitch it with the mouth open or the mouth closed. It's on 40 count vintage country mocha. I've never stitched on that before, and I thought I'm going to go ahead and try it. The way the fabric is cut is the pattern goes vertical. You know, I was like going to stitch it this way, but the fabric is cut for this particular piece. So I just have a little tiny start on it. Again, it's not that big of a pattern. You can see that isn't going to take that long to finish. So I'm excited to get back to all of these and make progress. Now I'm going to have to figure out how to get some of my old whips integrated into working on these. All right, this is on the other part of the Regency by Number 12 Stitch Company. So the Anne McFarlane went on one side, and I had enough to start this next one, which is Stitches Be Sweet. I've got a pile here. Stitches Be Sweet by Jeanette Douglas. Probably one of my very favorite patterns from market this year. It's the tiniest little start, but I'm telling you, those colors, amazing. And I'm going to sew fabric to the sides of this so it'll fit my Q-snap. But these colors absolutely sing on this fabric. And it could be that they're just rich colors and they're silks. I had some silks and I bought the rest. So I'm excited to work on those. I'm going to say that with every single one of these. All right. This was amazing. This is also a kit that I had from, I think it's a country sampler kit when it came out. Needlework Press, Margaret Croft, and one of the people at the table has stitched it and said they absolutely loved stitching it. Here's the threads. The reds and the greens. Now, what I love about this is Weeks Corn Silk. I would never have probably picked this fabric by myself. It's a very kind of greeny yellow color, but the colors, the thread colors on here are amazing. And they are, you can see how it's going to be. This is the call for fabric. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. That red just loves this fabric. So that was my little bitty start on that one. I'm going to have a mess here when I'm done. That's okay. The next, this is the very first one I started. This is Jane Plenderleith, 1838, the ABC Schoolgirl Club Kit from Country Sampler, 40 count. There are the threads. I didn't take the threads out on all of these. This is stitched on the kit fabric. I think it's 40 count straw, if I recall, by looking at the pattern. They usually match the fabric unless they can't, and then they tell you. This, I guess, is a tiny little start. It's really not that big of a project. And I would love to have stitched longer on this, but I had a mission to start all these, and I had not prepped the thread. So the thread, I had to, get that ready, put it in order, cut the ends, make sure it made sense, start my piece in the right spot. All the things that I should have done before I went, but I didn't have time. Now here's my smallest start. This is, so the kits from Samplers Not Forgotten are superb. She has little kits for smalls, right? And there's a lot of hearts, there's a lot of rectangles. This is from last year, and I already had it at my stash, so I'm like, why have I not stitched this? Violetta Heart by Samplers Not Forgotten, and it comes with this backing fabric. It's on, I think this is 36 count Aspen by Weeks, and it's just, it's going to take not long at all. Now there is some, you can see, here's the colors. There's several colors in this. I love stitching it. I'm going to probably take it to the retreat next month and work on it because it's so easy, right? It's not, you're not taking all the things that you need to stitch it. And the last start is Birdie Mae Brown Sampler by Chessie and Me. This also was a club kit from Country Sampler, Threads of History. I think there's only like 6 threads in here. And this is going to be a dedication to my mom. Now, I think the club, it came with this fabric, and it was, let me see what it is, because it's very like modeled. And I was like, oh, this is not what I normally stitch on, but I'm here for it. It is on Old Gold Linen by Fiber on a Whim. And it doesn't surprise me. Fiber on a Whim kind of has a green cast to most of their fabrics. So this one does too. And I really, really like this. And the colors of that are on this pattern absolutely sing on this fabric. I know, craziness. Craziness. So those are my starts so far. I'm going to show you a little bit of haul, and then I'm going to show you some plans that I have because I'm joining a stitch along. I think they might have started yesterday, but I need to look it up. I have a pattern chosen for it, but let me go ahead and show you a little bit of haul, and then I'll move over to that. Okay, so when I went to pick up my mother-in-law for Easter, I stopped at a little country fair that my friend does at her house, and y'all would love her place. So she's got some kind of vintagey, shabby chic, upcycled things, you know, painted furniture, little light fixtures with the chandeliers, plate holders. She's got outdoor furniture. It's amazing. So I did buy this Easter. Wouldn't this be cute with a stand-up in it? It's a little Easter cart. She put the eggs in it. It was really reasonable. I don't know who made this, but how creative are they? And so I am inspired by my friend Katie from So Tattered. She made the most adorable little bag out of a piece of vintage, I don't know if it was a linen or what it was, a scrap of fabric. And I saw this that was like $2, and I thought that would make a sweet little bag. So I bought that. And this little doily. This would be a cute scissor holder, I think. You can make a couple of them out of this. Or something bigger. Same thing, only bigger. And you know, these little linens, like this is $1 and $2. They hardly cost anything. So of course I was like, I'm all on this. And then the last one I got is this table runner, and it has these baskets and doves. Isn't that beautiful? I love this. And surely this would make a beautiful, maybe a bag or something, but I think it's in good shape. There's no holes in it that I could find. So this might just go on like a dresser or something in my new house if I ever move in. When I move in, I should say that. It's coming along. So thank you all who are following the journey and asking questions. Todd is waiting for the HVAC ductwork to be delivered. Our friends who came from Washington, he's an electrician. He took a look at all my husband had wired the house. He looked at everything. He helped him with putting together HVAC stuff. I don't know any of that. Like that's never going to be a Lisa project. I would hire somebody to do that. But hiring it would have been far more expensive. And so Todd, being the very not crafty, handy guy who can do anything, he was excited to take it on. He just wanted to consult with an HVAC specialist, and he found one to do that. So anyway, I stopped at a place that I love dearly. It's called Jane's Fabric Patch in Tillamook, Oregon. And she carries laundry basket quilt fabric. I had made project bags out of this. This is from a couple of years ago. And they flew out the door. I saw that she had quite a bit left in the bolt, and I bought everything because this would make a tremendous backing on a quilt. Would be fantastically gorgeous. And it's from 2021, so you're not going to find it anymore. I also found this. This is one of her lines, more recent lines. What is this line called? Laundry basket. My favorite. Isn't this gorgeous? And this would actually be gorgeous integrated into a quilt top with that backing. This comes in lighter and darker shades of red. This is called well, laundry basket, 100 years Valley maybe? Valley pattern, Valley Pat 354. I don't know what the line is called. She has a lot of fabric on her website. If you're interested in laundry basket quilts, go check out her website. She has a gorgeous quilt that she has done with EPP using her most current line, which is Lighthouse, which is red, white, and blue fabric, and it's incredible. So, also, to make it worth my time, I bought some. Well, first I have a couple other lines here. Hold on. This was clearance fabric. Isn't that cute? It's like a little fireworks. And then this is great filler fabric. It'd be great for Christmas. Now I bought some Christmas fabric to make project bags. I have some Christmas fabric already in my stash waiting to make project bags. But this one, look at that fabric. Oh my gosh. The little pop of teal. That'd be adorable with maybe a zipper that's in that teal color. So I got that. And then the inside is this little tone-on-tone snowflake. So that's that one. And then the other one is this one. These are novelty prints. I don't know who this is by. But look at that one. This looks like it should be a puzzle that you put together. Isn't that gorgeous? And that teal color in the background, very pretty. And the inside of this one will be neutral snowflakes in red and green. It goes really well with this fabric. So that is most of my haul. Nope, I lied. Hold on. Hold on. All right, on my way over to the coast, after I stopped at my friend's vintage fair, I went to a place called Albany Antiques in Albany, Oregon. It's a huge building. And that day I was looking for all things sewing related. And so if you watch my Instagram stories, you may have been overwhelmed with the photo dump that I put in there because that was a good day. There was tons of sewing related. It might have been things that were already made, already stitched. It could have been scissors, sewing machines, antique sewing machines, children's sewing machines, linens, it was everywhere that day. So that was a blast. In fact, I might just still put them at the end of this video because we all like eye candy, right? We all are interested in seeing the beautiful things, even though I didn't like indulge myself in a ton of things. What I did buy was this adorable little toll painted pot. I mean, come on. How adorable is that? And it was so inexpensive. I love things that are folk art looking, and this is just fantastic. So there's that. I also picked up these scissors, these shears. Now these, they're fantastic. They have a good edge to them. And I had these in my hand, and I happened to walk by a booth toward the end that had a table, and there's a gal sitting there doing something, and she goes, "Oh, you found some scissors in my booth." I'm like, "Oh yeah, these are fantastic." And they were also like, I want to say they were $10. She said she has a huge collection of them, and she can't help but buy them when she sees them. And I can understand why, because those are some big scissors. Oh, I also forgot to tell you, I got this from my friend's flea market. Isn't that pretty? What I really love is this frame. And I do love this too. Like, this will go in my house for sure. And it was really pretty reasonable. Now, here's my newest thing. Yes, I've seen y'all doing the animal crackers. And they're adorable. Well, the animal cracker crumb series, I have done one little cat that was a kit that I got from Country Sampler. And it has like velveteen on the back. That was fussy to make. I finished that one. And it's a little, you hang it from a ribbon. So I am like obsessed with these two. I hope she makes a whole ton of these. In fact, I bought a little tin from eBay that I want to tuck these in. Maybe do a little lining in there. But these are the, I wonder how big these are when they're done. 2 inches. Yep, like 2 inch. They're tiny, little ones. And then I also saw this little watercolor tin at the antique store. It was also, the watercolors are gone. But wouldn't this be sweet with a little tin that has, you can open it up and pull your little animal cracker crumbs out. And this would be sitting next to it. And this one, a little Dumbo statue. I couldn't stop. I had to get out of there. I'm like, no more of this. My husband's going to be like, what did you buy now? So I was a bit on a mission there and had a blast, but that's all I left with. All right, let me tell you what's coming up, because I do have some plans and at least 1, if not 3 new starts. So hold on. Okay, so I was watching an Instagram story, I think it was, or maybe it was a post from a stitcher I follow. Her name is Susie Q. Runs with Needles. I had to write it down because it was a long name. And she and a few other people are going to start a GGR pattern in January or June 1st. I thought it was May 1st, but it's June 1st. I went back and looked. And so everyone is invited to join. So I'm crashing the party because I want to stitch another GGR. I have antique, I have Rose Wreath Sampler. Like, what was it called? Rose Wreath Sampler is about half-ish done maybe. And I need to get back to that one. So I thought I'd show you my GGR patterns and let you know my thoughts, because I need to get some more stuff kitted up. So this one, this is a very likely start. This one is it ING Iguanas? INGUNA''S sampler. And the reds, I mean, my gosh. So I think I'm going to use this fabric. This is Color and Cotton Sampler Gold. I bought this when she had test dyed it and was doing a limited run, and now I think this is a fabric you can get from her. It's in her regular stash of fabrics that are dyed. So I'm really thinking that this one is likely going to be the one that I start, because why not? Also in my stash is Jane Southward 1836, and again the red, and look at that big tulip at the bottom. This one's tempting as well. I do love that one. One of my favorite GGRs. Also this one, a Fair Lady sampler. I mean, okay, so this reminds me of a Jane Austen. There's a new series called Miss Austen. I think it releases May 4th on PBS, which I love PBS. Or is it Masterpiece Theater? I think Masterpiece is a collection with PBS. Am I right? I don't know. Anyway, so, I mean, this one would be fantastic to start too. And it looks like it should be a Jane Austen. Look at these people. Jane Austen characters. That one I bought at the attic. I love that. The attic has a lot of GGR stuff. And this one, the Dutch sampler, GT 1783, I think is GT. It's like I don't know how to read cursive or something. That one is beautiful. Look at the ship on that. I mean, these are all on my short list. Also, this one, Hannah Hammond's work, 1845. Now, I'm not a big Adam and Eve sampler stitcher. I don't know why. But there's things you could put in there besides Adam and Eve. It could be anything. And she had an alphabet sampler series. I bought the S because my last name is Smith. I could do that one. How about Isabella Fox? Ooh, look at that big tulip in the upper corner. Yikes, that one's pretty. Now I think Susie, oh, let me tell you who else is heading up this south. Susie Q runs with needles. Helen Huchin, Jody Stitching Adventure. And I'll put their Instagram names in the box below. There's probably a hashtag involved. I don't know for sure. I'm not sure the hashtags are really the wave of the future. I think we saturated the internet with them, so Meta backed off on them. But you can follow the Stitch Along Join and tag them. So I'm going to crash the party. For sure I'm going to start one. Bridget Power. I think this is the one Susie's going to start. 1840. And my friend Grace from Paisley Stitcher, she stitched this. A lot of people have or are stitching that. Miss Manners, Elizabeth Manners, 1843. Here is another Adam and Eve sampler. Look at how these people need to eat something. They're too skinny. They've been eating apples off of trees. That's why they're so skinny. Collection Privé ATS 1871. Also, I think Grace stitched this one too. Awesome. This is one of my favorites. And I don't think I've seen this one stitched up, but this is Sampler Fusion 1750. Look at this one. Isn't that so pretty? I thought I was going to start it, so I put one thread in there. Also, I love the Alter samplers. Ariel and Ariel, Aurioil. Isn't that so pretty? Look at that border. Whew, you got to be paying attention when you're stitching that. And Virginie Grimoire. Some of these I got the threads from the attic, and they have 10-yard skeins. That one also is a stunner. A temple in the middle of it. Oh boy. Now, remember the first one I showed you? For sure, I'm thinking about starting that one. This one is I am going to start it. This is the Polka Dot Brown Cow. Polka Dot Cow sampler. I love this. Everything from the tassels to the pastoral scene at the bottom. Yep. That's most likely the one for sure that I'm going to start. And I think I'm going to use some of this 40 count aged flax. I think it would work well. Hopefully, this fits on there. This is the one I'm stitching with Kindness Matters on one corner. If it doesn't fit, I might buy another piece from Number 12 Stitch Company. They're from Australia, and shipping is great. Responsive, highly responsive. Now, what else do I have? Because why not just throw moderation completely out the door? I think I showed this fabric to y'all last time, and I'm now certain that I'm going to stitch Let Love Rain on French Pear by Number 12 Stitch Company. This is the softest. It's like a celery color. It is the most beautiful green, very pale, kind of a yellowy green. It's so pretty. So that one, I'm going to start at some point. I think these are mostly DMCs. Let Love Rain. Let's see what she says. Yeah, these are mostly DMCs with an Onyx and Oscar. I have about 12 skeins of Oscar because Brenda Gervais. Brenda made me do it. Now, the, oh, hold on here. I've got 2 more. Oh, here's another GGR. This is one for sure I'm starting. I've got some fabric for this one too. This is a lady in red spinning her wool. Now, I'm going to change the color of the houses. They're called for lamb's wool. Lamb's wool is no color. It's like ecru, right? Well, I'm not stitching. I just can't stitch beige samplers. So I'm going to change some colors on here for sure. And I'm stitching it on a piece of 40 count lentil by, is it Vintage Lentil? It looks like it is Vintage Lentil by Lakeside. Let me see if I can hold this up, see a little bit better. It has just a hint of green in it and a hint of kind of a peachy color. And these are the called for colors. They're not on rings yet. I haven't figured my life out yet. Great colors. Definitely I'm going to substitute the lamb's wool for something else. Because, you know, I can. And the last one I'm thinking of starting, and I have everything for it, and I've been going to start it forever now, and I've shown you about 5 times that it's on my list. I'm just going to do it. It's Elizabeth Simon by the Scarlet House. And this is just so beautiful. I'm going to stitch it. I've decided on Brash by Picture This Plus. Let me see if I can be a little more manageable with this. I've got all of the threads for it. I think the threads are not, they look a little different than in the picture, but most of them are the same. It's a kind of a wild color choice, but if you look at this picture, it's definitely a darker linen, and these colors just pop on this fabric. So this is 40 count Brash by Picture This Plus, and I'm looking forward to starting that. So yes, I've lost my mind. Yes, I went from starting nothing. You know what it was, is that every week when I would show, every time I'd have a video, I'm like, well, I worked on this last time. And I was just feeling uninspired. So my friend Olivia from Pumpkin Hollow Quilts did this a couple years ago, where she just absolutely, I think she started 30 things. Well, I'm not going there, but I think, you know, I'll have 10 starts, and they're not all huge. That's the good thing, is that they're going to be something I can finish, and it won't take forever. Now, let me see what else is coming up here. I think that's all I have left to share with you, is what's coming up. So you saw what I'm going to start, and I've done a terrible job of posting on Instagram. I'm going to try and remedy that and just show you more of what I'm working on. I have a week of work, then I'm off for 2 weeks. So we're going to go to a country sampler. We're flying over to Wisconsin, going to go to country sampler for a few days and stay in the apartment. And then we're going to go to the Farm Girl retreat in Door County with Paulette Stewart, which is going to be great. So that'll be the first week. We fly out on Mother's Day and fly back the following Sunday. Then I'm here for a couple days. And then my husband and I are going to Wallowa Lake, which is in northeastern Oregon. And it's like the Swiss Alps of Oregon. It's the Eagle Cap Mountains. Wallowa Lake has a moraine on one end where the glacier came in and just dug down deep and pushed material up to create like a berm on one side of the lake. There's a tram that goes to the top of one of the mountains. It's incredible. It's just a great place. We took the kids there on a vacation. We had a great time. And there are vacations we've taken with the kids that my husband and I are like, we're going to come back here when it's just us. And this is one of those places. So I'm doing that. And that's it for May. That's enough, right? And then we have Labor Day weekend or Memorial weekend in there somewhere. So as far as stitching and plans, you can catch me on Instagram. I'll probably see you when I get back from my retreat. I won't see you before then. There's too much to do. And I appreciate all of you watching and checking things out. Thank you for your lovely comments all the time. just, I feel like I do not deserve you. And um, I'm just very grateful for you. So thank you. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time.